What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video coming to you guys today to talk about the United States Championship for the women. Now, recently in a video I talked about who should pretty much become the first Intercontinental Champion for the women on the main event Raw side. So I decided to kind of do more of like a part two to that and talk about the Women's United States Championship over on SmackDown and who really should be winning that as well. So I kind of came up with a couple of names that I thought would be interesting for that accolade of being the first and why I think they should even win and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna get into it. Comment down below. Let me know who you guys think should be the first WWE Women's Champion of not the WWE Women's Champion, United States Champion. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm literally just not getting up, you guys, not too long ago, but still. Um, so the first person that I want to talk about is number 5, Bayley. Now, this is probably the least likely to happen, and I don't think it should happen, but there's always that possibility at the same time. The reason why I think it would be interesting, because, and this may be just me saying this, but I'm pretty, maybe there's other wrestling fans that might feel the same way that I do about Bayley, but it seemed like despite her being part of the Four Horsewomen with Charlotte, Becky, and Mercedes Moné, it always seemed like for Bayley, she was always one step behind. It always seemed like they always held the other three in higher regards than Bayley. Like, honestly, I feel like if we would have had a women's mid-card title back in like 2016, 2017, I don't really think they probably would have gave Bayley the WWE Women's Championship, honestly. Because I always felt like out of the all four of them, she never really seemed like a main events player. And maybe that's just really because of the booking and her character at the time. But I really feel like if they would have had a mid card title back then, I don't think we would have been sitting here having the conversation that she would have been a women's champion or anything like that. But with them not having a mid card title, they kind of positioned her to be a women's champion out there, and she did have a good reign with the SmackDown Women's Championship that pretty much went throughout the pandemic, and she carried that the women's division on her back, and that's probably why they gave her the Royal Rumble win for as a reward for all of the hard work that she has put in over the last couple of years. And everything like that. But I think if you do put the title on her, it would be in the sense of it's establishing the title, but not really establishing the person that's holding it at the same time, if that makes sense. Because we know Bayley, she has a lot of accolades. She's won the Rumble, she's won Money in the Bank, she's won numerous championships, she's won the NXT Women's title as well, and all that. Like, this pretty much would mean they're having somebody, as a big name, so to speak, try to legitimize that title to make that title feel important. But the thing with me, it always seems like this is the case. Every time that they put a singles championship on Bayley, it never really goes well. It seems like every time they've done it, it just never goes well. Like you look at all her women's championship reigns and even the women's championship reign last year, this past year, she it just never worked. It never worked, and it never seemed like they really put a lot of effort into her title reign, and it just I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that feels that way. Comment down below if I'm wrong, but I just feel like they never really gave a lot of attention to her when she was champion. So I could see a possibility of them wanting to put the title on her, but I think it's the least likely scenario in my personal opinion. But if they do, I necessarily wouldn't be upset about it, but I would be kind of confused if that makes sense. The next person that I want to talk about is none other than Tiffany Stratton. Now, Tiffany Stratton is currently Miss Money in the Bank, and she is in the tournament as well. But I think this will be kind of somewhat similar to the Miz situation. Miz was U.S. champion, and he was Mr. Money in the Bank, and he ended up losing the U.S. title en route to him pretty much cashing in and becoming WWE champion in late 2010. So who's to say that they don't try to do like a rehash of that with Tiffany, of have her win the U.S. title? Because she's really been one of the more over wrestlers this year. Like, even when she first came up to the main roster, a lot of people were buying into her, and a lot of people wanted to see her do big things. A lot of people actually cared about her. Like, I think really going back to NXT and her having that match with Becky really kind of helped elevate her to like that next level. So when she did come up to the main roster, people kind of knew who she were. People wanted to see her do big things. She won Money in the Bank this year. She had a standing out performance in the chamber this year and Money in the Bank, and even ended up winning. So I think you could potentially, give her the U.S. Championship because I think people will really love to see that. But at the same time, the reason why I don't have her higher up this list because I feel like she's not gonna make it out of the tournament to get to the finals, and I also think she still has that story going on with not Tiffany, but with Nia and her potentially cashing in for the women's championship. So I think that's really her story. Her story isn't really with the U.S. Championship right now, but who's to say within maybe 6 months to a year she can't find herself in contention for that title? So that's why I don't have her higher up on this list, unfortunately. Um, the number three, the person I have to put on this list is Naomi. Now Naomi has had an okay year. It hasn't been the worst, but it hasn't been the best either. Like, she's put in high profile storylines, like she's been in title contention with Nia and everything like that. I think on two occasions, if I'm not mistaken, and she comes up short. She was in Backlash this past year when she was on a triple threat with Bayley and with Tiffany, which pretty much Naomi ended up taking the pin in that match. So it seems like when it came to the women's championship, she just always comes up short time and time again. But I do think maybe they probably do put the U.S. Championship on her because I think if you want to establish somebody winning that championship, she's somebody that I think would definitely benefit by putting the title on because I think she can help elevate that title, but really build her stock back up to where she could potentially be seen as a main event player once again. Because people seem to forget that she was SmackDown Women's Champion a couple of years ago. People seem to have forgot that she's been able to do that and stuff like that. So this may be a way to get the fans to remember just how really good Naomi really is, and then potentially at the same time get her over with the crowd. Now, granted, she is over, but not over in the sense of people think that she is a world champion just yet. But this will be the first step to getting her back to that point. So I think she will do that, and I know they've been having her in this storyline with. I know Jade's been taken out. A lot of people have been speculating that she has probably was the one to do that, and if she does, and she's champion, that would be a great way because now you could potentially maybe do Bianca, Jade, and Naomi for that U.S. Championship come in if you really wanted to, and I wouldn't be mad at it because I think all three women really would cook in that match. I'm just being honest, but I think the sole story is probably going to be Bianca and Jade one on one. And I don't know what that means for Naomi. Maybe Naomi is the one to turn heel, but I don't know what that means for the story. It would definitely help her in the sense of potentially getting back to like the level of being a main eventer because she's facing Bianca Belair, who's been really booked really strong since she's pretty much came onto the main roster and everything like that. So that's why I have her on my list. I think she would be a great candidate to be a potential women's U.S. champion or just a women's mid-card champion in general, but I just don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on that just yet. But number two that I'm going to talk about is Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, it's not even just because her matches have been really good, don't get me wrong, but her character I really feel like would fit the U.S. champion or just a champion. I think her character being like a Karen and people love Chelsea. You could use this, even though she's a heel, you could really use this as a potential way to make her a babyface down the line at some point. And I know they've been kind of speculating, planting some seeds between Chelsea and Piper. Maybe it's a situation where maybe Chelsea does win the title at some and everything like that, and Piper turns, and now it makes more sympathy for Chelsea for her to potentially be the champion. So I would totally be okay with that. I think she would deserve a moment like that, and I think she's come close to doing that and everything like that. And I think this would be a great way to capitalize on that and her momentum that she's been able to garner throughout the year. And you got to think sometimes with a lot of wrestlers, or just how sometimes times does stuff, they really put like they give people opportunities and they give people championships based on crowd interaction. Are they able to get the fans engaged? Like if they have a big following and stuff like that, because they know they can put a lot of stock into them. And she just, I think, about a week ago, or something like that, she reached a million followers on Instagram. So shout out to her for that. That's a big accomplishment. And so you can kind of play into that she's been able to find success and be able to build herself, even sometimes when she's not on screen. Find a way to build up herself, build up her credibility, build up her stock. You're able to do that outside of the ring. And I think a lot of people look at her and she's able to do that. This is the same thing with her husband, Zack Ryder. Unfortunately, it was just a different regime, but if he was able to do the same thing in this current day and age, he would be way more advanced and probably a world champion by now. Just saying. But number one, the person I think should become the first U.S. champion, Mia Yim. Micha Mia Yim. This, I will honestly say this. This has pretty much been a breakout year for Mia Yim. I mean, her encounters, the match that she had with Chelsea a couple weeks ago in the dumpster match, people had like low expectations, but exceeded people's expectations at the same time just because of what they were able to do. And then the match that she had with Nia Jax for the women's championship was really good. She's been able to perform and get more TV time and actually put up great, compelling matches. And I think you should reward that with the year that she's had. Think about it. Last year, she really wasn't being on screen at all. To this year, pretty much somewhat being somewhat in the forefront in a sense, and getting more TV time. More people are starting to care about her. People are really buying into her. And similar to what I said in the last video about Zelina Vega, when I think of the women's mid-card title, I think of somebody like a Mia Yim, because she has all the potential in the world to potentially be there at a main event level. And this could be the first step to doing that. You give her this championship, you let her build up her reign, build up her character, build up her stock again, get the fans engaged, and when you do take the title of her, people will be clamoring to see her potentially move up to the main event scene and potentially get a crack at the title and potentially win. So I think this will be a great move, but like I said, it just really depends on the W at the end of the day and what they feel is going to be the better option and what is going to get them the most money. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But with that being, like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. That is the end of the video, guys. Comment down below. Let me know, who do you guys think should be the first women's United States champion? Do you agree with some of the people that I picked, or do you have somebody else that I didn't name? Let me know in the comment section down below. Road to 350 subscribers with ultimate goal is 10K. When I do hit 10K, I will do a giveaway with one of my lucky subscribers who will have the opportunity to win a WWE Championship from WWE Shop. So if you want to be a part of that and be the subscriber that does win, subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. You can always change your mind in the future, but why would you want to do that? Trying to give you guys daily resident content. The grind does not stop. Super kick that like button helps my channel gets pushed across the platform so more people can see what I'm doing here on YouTube. Superman punch the post notification bell so every time I post a new video, it's a reaction video, rant video, live stream, any type of video, you can be in the loop of things when I do drop a video. And spear the subscribe button. It takes 3 seconds to edit those 3 things for me. Helps on the progression of my channel as well. But with that being said, hope everyone has a great day, a great rest of your day, weekend. And with that being said, see you in the next video.